Men Without Fear by Greg Triggs for the Rings Yarn Slingers. When I was a kid, I loved comic books. My dad would say they were ruining my mind and then drink a quart of whiskey with no sense of irony. In the comic books, right always won. 19-page full-color morality plays, which compensated for my real life. My favorite hero was Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, the man without fear. He had a magical ring that shot green energy, which manifested the wearer's will. While recharging his ring, Hal would recite an oath. In brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light. When unable to manifest my own will, I'd pretend I was wearing Hal's ring. It compelled me to do what was best when I was not up to or just plain scared of the task at hand. Now, many of you, not the individual you, the amorphous you, the faceless collective you of which you are just one component. That you knows fear, but you don't know my fear. I don't know yours. No matter how empathetic we are, we can only know each other's burdens to a certain extent. It's a two-way street. The traffic just happens to be heavier on Gay Street, Woman Avenue, POC Parkway, Left-Handed Boulevard, and all the roads less traveled. People who are not often tell people who are how to be what they are, how to make otherness palatable to the majority or more powerful. Now, somehow I ended up working for Disney, which, while bringing the world talking mice, living toys, and sentient carpets, is seen as a homogeneous melting pot. Less so now, but back in the 90s when I started, very much so. I worked at an oxymoron, a Disney nightclub doing PG-13 improv while people got drunk. A wonderful dichotomy. Paid to laugh with my friends. The best job I'll ever have, with inevitable exceptions. I was pretending to host a TV talk show called Up Your Alley. My character was an acting challenge, an insipid blonde narcissist named Ricky Flake. We got to the point in the sketch where the audience asked questions. A guest raised his hand. I called on him. In front of 300 Disney guests, he said, "Ricky, do you want to go up my alley?" He then hurled a few less clever insults my way, all of which were blatantly homophobic. Even though I had 3 other actors, 2 technicians, a stage manager, and security guards with me, I was alone. No one helped me. I had no expectation they would. It didn't even register that no one came to my defense until I started writing this story. The biggest surprise was that it hadn't happened before. Victim mentality. I deserved it. It was the most vulnerable moment of my professional life. My livelihood, my future with Disney, my identity, humiliation. All at play in front of an audience. Majority privilege without consequence to the perpetrator. I pretended not to understand and did nothing. I wasn't wearing my power ring. A few weeks later, the same thing happened. An ordinary-looking guy, someone who would normally be forgettable, called me a fag. A few people in the audience laughed. This time I had my power ring. I took a deep breath and said, "Folks, I'm sorry to bring my personal life into the show, but this man is my life partner. Today is our 5th anniversary, and he's upset because I had to work. Sweetie, just remember what I said at home. You're the pretty one. I'm the one who gets paid to talk." He looked mortified. His wife looked thrilled. The audience cheered, "Fag for the win." Nothing like that has ever happened to me again. Each of us has some version of that vulnerability, an injured part of ourselves that the world tells us needs to change to make life easier for the collective us. Now, sometimes that lesson is on point. Don't be a serial killer. Don't be an asshole. Don't vote for assholes. Other times, it's not a lesson. It's small thinking. It's the collective us having a tantrum. It's fear. In those moments, be Hal Jordan. Live without fear. Show the world your power ring.